Well, the University Counselling Department's mission essentially is to ensure that every boy at the end of grade 12 moves on to have the experience that is best suited to him, the individual. Majority of our students will be looking towards university. And to apply to university, in my opinion, is an absolute privilege, because the majority of people aged 18 in the world don't have that opportunity. And I think you have to go to university knowing why you're going, not just seeing it as the thing that an 18-year-old boy from St George's automatically does. And at the end of grade 12, many people really don't know what they do want to do with their futures. And a gap year can open up all sorts of skills and experiences and worldviews that you don't have prior to doing that. And there are so many opportunities out there, from traveling the world on a boat to volunteering in a third world country to going and doing courses at maybe a community college or another university, to working for half the year, traveling somewhat perhaps aimlessly around the world. Whatever the experience, you're going to be a more mature, more thoughtful person at the end of it, and know at that point whether university, college is the right next step for you.
Richard Chen and I just made a short film, and we premiered it last night at Saints Expo, and it talks a lot about, gap years, but more specifically talks about the university acceptance process and kind of finding meaning outside what is a common path. And what I mean by common path is, the common path is for St. George's private school boys. The story, Ben, the character I play, he is a boarder, and he basically feels abandoned by his parents because his parents sent him from China, like from Asia, doesn't really specify, and he doesn't apply in time because, well, I guess he has this issue with procrastination, which I think a lot of teenagers associate with. It's like this fear of failure, the fear of getting judged. I think that's why a lot of people don't take gap years, is because they're scared of what people will think of them if they do, because there's a stigma against it, especially at a school like St. George's. So he doesn't apply in time, and he's a competent kid, but he doesn't get in because he didn't apply in time. And then there's this whole journey, and then he feels completely dejected, and he lashes out. And then there's a lot of scenes like about what kind of person he is. He's very immature, takes things for granted, and then he finds himself in his gap year. Well, he was forced to take this gap year, but he finds himself, and he gets into photography, he finds a passion, and once again, he sees meaning, he sees color in this world. So yeah, I think, we're teenagers, and we obviously have no idea what the real world's like because we've never been in it. And a gap year is just like the perfect avenue in creating your own identity outside of high school and understanding what you want to do with your life, kind of.
I think people dislike gap years because it's not because they don't agree with gap years, they don't think it's a cool experience. I think that they're scared of what others think of them. So for example, if you're in a group of friends and all your other friends are going to university and you don't really want to because you're thinking you want some time off, you want some time to travel and think about your future, I think most of those students kind of feel insecure in a way where they don't want to admit that they want to go to a gap year, but in fact they do. So I think students are kind of fighting between those two sides, and I think that's why students don't want to do gap years, in my opinion.
Hi, my name is Michael Hua, and I'm in grade 12 at St. George's, and I'm considering a gap year because I feel like it is giving me, or like it can give me plenty of opportunities that I wouldn't be able to get at university. For example, like trying to get into the real world, like getting a job or traveling the world and stuff. I also feel like taking a gap year is really helpful, especially for those who worked really hard in school, especially in senior year trying to get into university and such, and especially with the university applications, the rigor as well as schoolwork and maybe some extracurricular stuff. It kind of gives you some time to just kind of gather yourself and maybe explore the things that you want to do. And I think one big problem is that a lot of students kind of lead into university like a little bit rushed, and they feel the social pressure of kind of going to university and choosing a major that their friends are doing, or they assume they like. And I think a gap year, especially with the experiences that come with it, will definitely allow someone to not only broaden their knowledge of what they want to do, but allow them to expand on that subject that they're really passionate for or interested in. And that's why I think, I mean, all in all, there's really no disadvantage I feel to a gap year. I mean, some people might be worried, like, oh, I might not go back to school and stuff. But I feel like eventually you can kind of come to senses that school really is important, especially nowadays, where a degree is pretty much necessary for a lot of jobs. So that's basically what I think of taking a gap year. Yeah.